Okay, guys, we're just waiting for Bobby to come on in here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to be kind of struggling to make my DraftKings lineups work with the news out. That being that Malcolm Brogdon is out, so essentially all of the Indiana guys are in play. I have about looks like 45 minutes to get this done. I should be able to do it okay. I only have them playing 11 lineups on DraftKings, and on FanDuel, playing a little bit more. So let's get that in there. So NBA. So I have 7 entries in there. So I have to fix 7 lineups on FanDuel, and I have to fix, what did I say? 11 lineups on DraftKings. So I'm sharing my screen over here, and Bobby's going to be up in a minute. And I guess I could share my projections are all kind of screwed up now because with the Indiana news, and I don't really have it set yet to kind of update them. So I'm just going to kind of go over it all. Let me just make sure that I see when Bobby kind of gets in there a little bit. So I guess I'm just going to kind of talk through this first. So this Indiana-Houston game is the first game, so we really have to get this right. All right. Let me just. So there's, with no Brogdon, no Sabonis, no TJ Warren, right? Oh, hey, what's up, Bobby? Let me get you.
What do we got?
Yeah, so what I was mentioning is I have about 11 lineups that I have to fix on DraftKings and about 7 or so. And I guess, and not the annoying thing, I guess the exciting thing is we have 45 minutes, and probably the most important thing to get right is the first game, okay? Because all the Indiana guys are out, right? No Brogdon, as always, no Sabonis, and no TJ Warren. So everybody else is in play. And the other thing is that Harden on the other side is kind of a lock, right? So my first instinct is going to be probably, well, we're going to see how this plays. I might play five Pacers along with Harden, and then we'll just figure out the rest. Of course, we don't know really what the deal is with these other games yet, right? With Toronto and Philly, and who's sitting, and Miami and OKC, who's sitting. I mean, we're not sure about what's going to happen there yet, right?
Right.
So what do you? I mean, I guess my first.
We have an idea with Philly that they're going to play their guys at least some of the time, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think we can speculate on that. So, do you want to just go game by game real quick? It might help things a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Game is the first game. I mean, this is where we're at, right?
Yeah. The problem I'm having with it is that while other value will open, it's very hard to find this type of, like, you're going to play Aaron Holiday. I think that you're going to play TJ McConnell in some lineups with Holiday and without him.
My first build has 5 Pacers.
The problem with that is that we could end up getting some stuff later that would make some different. That would make a difference.
Right.
So who are the Pacers? So we obviously want to, we want Oladipo, but do we know how many? Oladipo and Turner, I'd be more concerned about their minutes than maybe some other people will be.
Well, I'm not playing Turner at all. So I was going to play Holiday, Oladipo, Justin Holiday, TJ McConnell, and Doug McDermott. Those would be my favorite.
Yeah, I think there's going to be
and then Jakar Sampson. You know what I mean? Can you play 6?
I mean, why do you want to play 6? I don't understand reaching for Jakar Sampson on a slate like this personally. But
what kind of slate is this?
Slate where we don't know what kind of value is going to open up, and we have nothing that we want to spend up on except for Harden.
Okay, so what we're saying then is that even though this is an important game, we do have to consider these other games. So what are we looking at in these Clippers Denver? Like, let's go backwards, for example. So Clippers Denver, Are we expecting people to sit out of this game?
I'm expecting the Denver players to play 25 to 30 minutes at the most, and I don't think the 30 is realistic. You could argue that they still are 2 games back of the Clippers, and they could try to win this game. The Clippers would have to lose both; they would have to win both. I don't see it happening. I don't. They pulled their guys in the fourth quarter of the last couple games, so I think we're avoiding players from Denver at almost all costs, with the exception of Monty Morris, because I think he'll get the extra run at point guard. And but if anybody does end up sitting, becomes like an unbelievable play, and so do some other guys. But even if they don't, I still think he's on the board as one of the guys we want to hang in there with later and see. And I'm constantly going to be looking because I'm going to see what happens with the later games. Philly, I expect everybody to play and then try to figure out their rotations, but not necessarily play a ton. And Miami usually puts their guys out there, and if they play them, Butler usually plays minutes. Bam is another one you could spend up on. I'm not as excited about spending up on Denver, and I'm not as excited about spending up on the Clippers. But I do think if I played anybody, it would be Paul George on the Clippers above Kawhi. But I think Kawhi is it makes a lot of sense to play him on FanDuel. It's a little tricky, to be honest with you. One guy who's going to go overlooked in that Clippers game, just talking about who could put up a big number and actually is immediate, you can actually pay for a little bit, is Lou Williams. I think you might see his minutes go up a little bit tonight, and I like the matchup for him, especially the way Denver's been playing defensively lately. It's been off. So it's a really hard thing to say wait and see and then plug these guys in, but that's a little bit what if we can do, I would love to do.
So I haven't been convinced yet. So I want to go backwards again. So the Clippers Denver game, I haven't been convinced is really a game that we're really, really waiting for. You know what I mean? Like with respect to finding value. You know what I mean? I think at best you'll see Denver put, a 25, 26-minute rotation out there. And if that's the case, I don't know if anybody really becomes like a ridiculous must play, right? And likewise the Clippers, I mean, we're saying, okay, maybe Lou Williams is okay, but so we're talking about, again, I'm really talking about how to plan for the next 40 minutes, right? So if I worry too much about the Clippers-Denver game. I might play Paul George, I might do whatever, but I'm not worried too much about wasting value from this game because of that game. But let's talk about the game. Let's go backwards, right?
Who are you spending on if you're going to use that value?
Well, we're starting with Harden.
Other than Harden.
Well, we'll get there. So Paul George for openers.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll see. We only have 4 games. You know what I mean? So we get
but I mean, do I want to play like a guy like Jakar Sampson or Doug McDermott who might get me like 10 fantasy points at 3K, or do I want to play a guy who I know is going to get me 25 plus at 5.5 or something?
I got you. But let's take a look. So Miami, Oklahoma City. What are we waiting on that? So is Dragic still questionable, or is he going to play?
Sorry, who's still Dragic? As of right now, I have him as questionable, but I think he's going to play.
All right. So you think that Miami and OK are going to just kind of they're going to play it straight, or?
Straight is not what I would say. I think that there's a different version of how teams do things before the playoffs, where they play try and get their rotations down, play 25 to 30 minutes, not really care about the score, that type of thing. Miami and Jimmy Butler especially seems a little bit different. Sorry, I'm tweeting this out right now so that I can actually let some people know. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Let's go. I think we have to go just game by. I'm sort of jumping.
We are going game by game.
I just can't see your game by game. I can't see your screen at all, so it's a little bit hard to know where we're at. You mentioned the Denver game, then you jump to the Miami game, so I'm sort of looking at different things.
You can't see my screen.
No, it's up. It's working. It's just it's tiny. Let me see if I can see it on the actual channel, and maybe I can see it there. See it a little bit better, but it's a little bit hard to see. But it's all right. It's fine. What game are we on?
I was going backwards. I was talking about Miami OKC.
Okay, so Miami OKC. Let me pull up my thing. Sheets, I'm sorry. Can you talk for one more second? I've got to get this thing out real quick.
So Miami OKC. I mean, I presuming they were going to play it straight, I would say, if I thought Butler could get 32 minutes, he'd be just kind of okay. But nobody was I was in no big hurry to play anybody from that game. So Butler, Bam, but I think all these guys are very similar to me, like Butler, Bam, Kawhi, I know they're different prices, but guys that are probably going to play but might not be motivated to play 36 minutes, right? So I figure they're all kind of similar. So the answer to your kind of your question of where are we gonna, if we're gonna play all these Indiana guys, what value are we kind of what spend ups are we looking for? I think that the Butler, Bam, Jokic, whatchamacallit, Paul George, although they're not going to get 36 minutes, maybe 30, 32 minutes or 30 minutes might be enough to say that that's what we do want to spend up for. So that was my view on Miami OKC. Now, again, we have to look make sure, see that Steven Adams and Noel Nerlens Noel. Obviously, if Adams is out again somehow, and if Nerlens plays, then he's going to be a strong play. So that is something to look for. But what I have on Steven Adams.
He's supposed to play, but we don't know for sure. My imagination is after resting the other day and having a day off, they'll play everybody less minutes. That's just very, very simple. Like they definitely didn't play Chris Paul his minutes the other day. They were also losing pretty badly. That's why I said he was a bad play the other day. I don't expect him to play more than 28 minutes maximum today. You can't play him, in my opinion. You can. I just don't see how it works. Maybe it does. I would lean towards Shea if I was going to play anybody on their side. Obviously, Noel, even if Adams plays, is still in tournament play. I don't think Gallinari's minutes are going to be there. I don't think anybody else is really going to get the minutes that they're going to need to pay off on this side, except Noel and Alexander would be my only interest on that side. And then on the Miami side, I think Jimmy Butler and Bam are probably two of the better spend-ups. Now, they can technically finish in different positions, but home court advantage doesn't mean anything. I also feel like Jimmy Butler is a guy you can trust going out there for 30-plus minutes. When he plays, he doesn't get limited. I don't watch that side of him. I've seen him not play games. I just don't see him ever do that. So I'll trust that more than the Kawhi, Paul George, where I feel like it could easily be 28 minutes. And they've also got so many other bodies that could do damage, especially with Lou Williams back now. So that's why I'm leaning them. But I do think Paul George, Butler, Bam, and Kawhi are the guys you're looking at, along with Joel Embiid spending way up over the top, knowing his minutes are probably going to be limited, but also that he's probably going to try and go nuts.
But what's cool, again, it's like I think all these guys are in a similar situation. Like they're all, obviously they have big ceilings if in fact they played 36 minutes, but none of them are. So that's fine. So they're all going to, let's say they're all going to play 30 minutes. You're still
Well, they're all playing different amounts, so we can't just treat them all the same, I think.
Oh, I thought that,
to speculate. We have to speculate a huge amount here. And my speculation is that Jimmy Butler, and assuming he plays, that Jimmy Butler and Bam's minutes will be more secure. And also, we don't even know that the Clippers are going to run everybody out there tonight. So that's why you play, the good thing is you can play him in the last game. You can play George and then switch it over. You lose a little bit, a few $100, but switch it over to Butler, for example. If everybody plays for the Clippers and somebody's out for you know what I mean? You do something like that. That was my idea of strategy, was to try and stack the late games, but it's really hard to do. And we've got a question in chat asking if there's any game stacks in play. And that's a tough question because the best one would be the first one. And you don't really want to do that on these slates because of the potential of what could come up later. But at the same time, it probably is the best one. And the Clippers-Denver would stand out, but the Denver's going to play 500 guys. Their closing lineups the last couple games have been Bol, Mason Plumlee, because they're just not playing their guys more than 25 minutes.
So you discussed probably the most important question on the slate is that which of those guys between Embiid, Butler, Bam, pick your favorite OKC guy, Jokic, Kawhi, Paul George, which of those have I would say more of a likelihood, have the possibility of really putting up a huge game, you know what I mean? As opposed to just cruising through 28 minutes. So you think that you would think Bam and Butler would be your two favorites, followed by Embiid?
That's my current thinking, but
what do you think they're going to do with Toronto?
Again, stagger the minutes more and potentially sit somebody. They don't need to play for anything whatsoever. And we saw the other day, they didn't bring up Siakam back in the fourth quarter, even though he had an okay game. And that was without Lowry, So I just am not going to be as secure with those minutes. It's not a great slate, but we've been crushing these not great slates. So so I'm trying to find the angle on this, and I'm having a little bit of trouble with it. And I'm just sort of like running my projections again, seeing what I can do to try and find some off the board. I think that Butler and Bam feel like the best plays to me. And Embiid does kill. We got another question in chat about, does Embiid kill the Sixers with his value, with his usage? I don't know what value you're talking about in the Sixers. I don't see a lot of value on that team, but if yes, he does take away from their usage, and he's probably not going to play. He's probably going to play 25 minutes tonight, but he could get there in 25 minutes, especially on FanDuel 8,800. So it's tough. It's a tough call. I don't know how else to say it. The main guys, we'll focus on the guys we're playing. Okay, we're playing Aaron Holiday. We're playing James Harden. We want to mix in some of these other Indiana guys, but I can just say, do it with a little bit of caution. Don't lock any of these other guys in, because I don't think that that's right. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my builds right now, and it's kind of messy. I can't see the build you got up there. Could you mind reading it off for me?
Yeah. So this one has 5 Pacers. This one has Holiday, McDermott, McConnell, and Oladipo. Run back with Harden, and then Bam and Paul George.
So of all the guys who I think are potentially bad value chalk, I do have them in my lineup, right in one of my big lineups right now. But I think we might look back at the end of the day and say, what the hell were we doing playing Justin Holiday? Not Aaron Holiday, but because he doesn't do anything. And it almost doesn't. We had more guys out than this, like 3 more guys out than this, and he put up like 15 fantasy points in 35 minutes. So yes, he could get hot from 3, and that you could worry about fading. Is you get killed without having him? Not unless he makes like 6 threes, probably. That's the truth. Anyway,
and this build also leaves 1,900 on the table, by the way.
Okay, well that's interesting. That's what we're getting into a little bit, is how much are we leaving on the table, all that stuff. It's kind of a tough call. And I'm building it out right now where I'm still not leaving as much on the table, but that's because I'm okay with overpaying for some of these guys to get 40 fantasy points from them. If I can get that from Embiid on FanDuel, that's probably good enough. On DraftKings, I don't think so.
So one way to fill in my 7,800 my 1,900 that I was leaving on the table, by the way, was playing Butler and Bam together, and instead and as far as which Indiana got to throw out, to get rid of Oladipo, which is probably the worst thing to do. But that is one that is one way to find that 1,900. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with fading Oladipo completely, but I'm probably going to play some of them.
What do you think? I know you mentioned Lou Williams. Do you like him better than Reggie Jackson over there?
Oh yeah, I don't like Reggie Jackson.
Okay.
At all anymore. On FanDuel, you can play him at 3,800, but I'd rather play McConnell, to be honest with you.
Okay.
All right, so let's re-go through, because I need to get my plays straight. I'm struggling right now. Harden, Bam, Covington. That's another one we can spend up for in the first game. That's a priority spend up, I think. Because the one thing we know about Houston, if the games are close, Houston plays their guys, usually. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if this game's close, they're going to play their guys, usually. I can't promise that they will today, but you'd think that today would be the day.
You can't promise?
Go ahead.
You can't promise me? No?
No, I can't promise, unfortunately.
I'd like someone to be able to promise me they're going to play their guys. It would help my build out a lot.
I mean, it's kind of gross, but I'm finding myself with more Justin Holiday than I want, and I don't know why I'm doing it, except for that, yeah, it's good value on an ordinary slate. There is absolutely, he needs to hit 6 threes for you to need to have him, and that's a big thing to say. By the way, the question about the golf video, yes, we have a golf video. We'll be loading it up in a little bit after we're done with this. But from the first game, I'm going to look real quickly at just the Indiana side and see who I'm playing, because I'm going through different projections right now, and I'm struggling with it with Indiana. Okay, let's see. If you're going to start, I think that actually McConnell is the priority guy, actually, more than – I think you play Aaron Holiday and McConnell more than even Justin Holiday. But you could always obviously play all three. I think it's pretty chalky and limits your ceiling a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that Aaron Holiday was probably the guy I would want to play the most.
Yeah, for sure, without a question. He's also going to be like 100% owned, but that's fine.
He's definitely the highest owned of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like if you don't have him, most likely you're giving up on the slate, in my opinion.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. I don't see any other better play than him on the slate, except for Harden. And even Harden's only because you have to spend up. I would call Holiday the best play on the slate. I think he'll be 75% owned. I really do. And I think you could try and fade him in a few lineups for sure, but I wouldn't do it too much. And again, I like McConnell. Obviously McDermott and Sumner and these guys can get there, and they're interesting tournament plays, but I don't love it. And Oladipo is going to be 500% owned, and we don't know what his minutes are going to be. But I still think that he makes a lot of sense. I think.
Yeah, I don't think I really need to play. I mean, I don't want to say I don't need to play Oladipo. I mean, obviously, it makes to be a really, really good play. But I mean, now we're getting into some weird anti-correlation issues. Can all four of these guards get there?
Oh yeah, not against Houston for sure. But I don't think you really like. That's what I'm saying. For a tournament lineup, do you really want to play those guys all together? I don't think that's optimal at all. So
you don't think?
No, I mean, it could be. I don't know what the rotations are. It's not like these guys are all on board to play 30 minutes. They're, McConnell and these guys are like in the 25-minute range, except for Justin Holiday will give you that minute floor. So you have that going for you.
Okay.
I'm finding myself stacking this early game too, man. It's really hard not to stack it. Really hard.
It's very difficult. And you know what? It's the thing is what the original supposition was, okay, if you play this early game, you give up the opportunity to play this really like great value later. But I'm just not even sure where that. We don't know. We obviously we don't even know what we're waiting for. Obviously, but I think we do. I think we can take a stand in saying that those later games are just going to be just boring fantasy games. No.
I mean,
it's too.
Yeah, I mean, on DraftKings especially, it definitely leads you to like wanting to stack this game. At least if that's what it's doing to me. But I'm stacking it without like Justin Holiday. Actually, right now, oh my God, you're right. It's such an easy build. I can't get away. I got to get away from it somehow.
What I'm saying, it's
the natural thing would be to try and play like a guy. Actually, I think that playing like Embiid could be interesting. In the same basic minutes I have for Embiid that I have for Jokic as my projection. Now, there's a chance they would play Jokic more where Embiid they wouldn't, but I don't. I still like Embiid, especially at lower ownership. You could play a weird off-the-board guy in this first game to get funny with the stack in PJ Tucker. Like,
I had him as my center on FanDuel, actually.
It's interesting because he's been so horrible fantasy-wise forever. But he'll every now and then get a game together, and you need to find something to try and get a little bit – you have to try and get a little bit cute on the slate. That's what – don't listen to people who say don't try and get cute. This is one you want to try and get cute. I think Jeff Green – are people off of him? Let me see where he's at right now. But he seemed like the kind of guy they would give more of a break to. Again, though, D'Antoni does play his guys. Yeah, I like Jeff Green, which leads you to –
and it's funny is freaking Westbrook, man. I mean, it's not Westbrook's fault. I mean, they got blown out of the game.
Right. I mean, yeah, but I guess partly it's his fault, but not certainly not entirely. But what's crazy is I still think that he was on like most winning teams. I mean, my team made a run and they had a minute.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but I think that's what these slates might end up being. Like I said, is maybe 6 points. There's 26 minutes of these studs. It's just going to be enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really tough slate to try and get different. It is, especially on DraftKings. Actually, really much more so on DraftKings. Actually,
the only thing I'm hoping again is that people they're afraid to commit too early.
You know, it's really hard not to try and stack this first game on DraftKings. All right.
Is Harden literally going to be 100% owned? I mean, like, it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah, he's got to. Like, I would imagine he would be.
Anybody from we want to play? Probably not, right?
We don't know. I mean, like, it depends on who comes in. You know what I mean? Like, we know those guys have guys who can put up a huge fantasy number if there's somebody out. But I actually think that what they are more likely to do is play everybody a small rotation today. Man, it's got me a little bit concerned. What's up, Brooklyn Juice? All right, I'm going to talk through this as I try and talk. Let's take a look at FanDuel real quick and see if we can maybe get a little different over here. Because DraftKings is kind of hard to differentiate and not played a lot of that first game. All right, so FanDuel, let's bring it up.
I'm going to bring it up in a minute. Let me just finish what I'm doing here real quick.
Yeah,
now I'm going to with DraftKings in like 2 seconds.
Do your thing. Take as much time as you.
Yeah, let me just make sure I got this, and I got this, and this one is fine, and this one. So I have Holiday and Harden, Aaron Holiday and Harden locked in, and for the most part, TJ McCollum too. Yeah, when I say locked in, don't get over. I mean, it's only 10 lineups, so it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah.
You playing any Eric Gordon?
No, I don't think they'll play him. I don't think they can't play him that many minutes off of an injury. I mean, let me see what minutes I'm projecting them for. 23 minutes. Yeah, that's probably be a lot to ask for. Kind of kill a little bit of the upside of some of the other guys too on Houston. All right, so FanDuel real quick. Let's see. FanDuel and do. So, yeah, I understand. Brooklyn says he's skipping this slate. Of course, this is a terrible slate, and this is going to make people not want to play it, and they won't play it right. So, all these horrible slates that have happened, and there's been some good ones too, but I've been doing very well in these, and I can't help but feel like there's some edge in just doing the right thing, and even eating whatever chalk you need to, and finding one or two pivots off of everything.
All right, I'm going to pull up my FanDuel screen now. So
okay.
I had literally one lineup. This is one lineup in 7 entries. So I have to make 7 changes, pretty much. And now I got to pull my. And this was like it wasn't even a dummy lineup. This is before Brogdon got ruled out, and I just replaced him with Jamal Murray just for the purposes of saving the lineup. Although this might not be the
play Jamal Murray.
What's that?
Not play Jamal Murray.
Okay.
He's they capped him at 25 minutes in the last game. Literally pulled him off the floor in a tight game that he was playing really well in. So if he's capped, even if they move it up to 28, well, actually, now I'm going to talk myself into this a little bit. He is 6,500. I kind of like that, actually. I mean, what else are you going to do?
You know what you could do? I'll tell you who you could play.
Jake? Who?
Oh, you could play the guy you don't like, but if he's 3,800, play Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, I think he's interesting, but I would rather play. No, what's his name's a better play than that for tournaments. I think Morris. But maybe not. I mean, there's a path that Reggie Jackson does get some pretty good run tonight. Reggie Jackson's going to be a little more popular probably than Morris. Probably has a little bit more upside. It's a tough call between those two for me, actually.
Not $3K to spend. So I had Gallinari originally in here.
Nope.
But he's not playing?
No, he's playing. He's projected for 25 minutes. You could play him. He's like I would put him on the upper tier of guys old guys who have never played a back-to-back, and this is not a back-to-back, but the short game thing, I just can't see why he'd have to put out any energy whatsoever.
Well, that's not quite Siakam. This could be a fun lineup, actually, if I get this right. If I put – no, this isn't going to work. So well, who are you going to play at small forward then?
So I think I'm figuring something out here. Yeah, well, that's the tricky. I mean, you could play Jay Crowder. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Yikes!
Could Tobias Harris play enough minutes to get there?
Yeah, I actually think he can. I think that's your other, sort of other route there. I kind of like him. I don't think he's going to be off the board, though. Because I think they're going to try – Philly I could see, because they've been struggling, trying to put something together where maybe they do play closer to 30 minutes. Brooklyn Juice talked him into playing on the lineup. All right, man, let's go. Clippers. Yeah, Denver just feels very, very risky to me outside of everybody, actually. Yeah, I've got money left on the table on FanDuel as well.
Who do you like at 7?
So I think the play is Embiid, obviously, but he's actually going to be popular and obviously might be somewhat capped. So I think that this might be the spot where I choose to play Miles Turner at lower ownership, where on DraftKings he'll have higher ownership because of Embiid's price over there.
Yeah, my first build has Tucker. So,
the more I think about this Jamal Murray thing, like, who are we supposed to play at point? Kyle Lowry, even if he doesn't play minutes, has still got to put up fantasy points, right? Like, these minutes.
Nurse plays his dudes, doesn't he? I mean,
so Kyle Lowry versus Dragic versus Murray. Wow. I wonder if they would start Dragic again today. Well, we don't have none, so I imagine they would. But that's actually worse for him, kind of. So I would like him better if he wasn't starting. That's too bad. What about playing Kyle Lowry and then, we might have to make a late shift here. And even with the 5 minutes, Millsap should still be in play on FanDuel, because I think people would play Noel over him, but even in shorter minutes, he still has, he's still going to play 25 minutes or so.
Is something wrong with Chris Paul? Is he hurt or something?
No, he's not going to play minutes. I mean,
I think so.
But
it's like the same story, right? Like all
players could lead into playing minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Noel in for right now on my other one, and if I get word that Jeremy Grant is in, I want to play Jeremy Grant tonight. So don't play those guys here. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, Bobby. Tobias Harris, let's see what we got for him. So I'm trying to get my big buy-ins done, and it's a little hard to do both of these. Tobias Harris, yeah, it's going to be crazy on the as well.
You'll be quite the troll, by the way, as if Austin Rivers went off again.
Yeah, with Derek Gordon back, I think it's less likely, but so no one's going to play Kyle Lowry on FanDuel.
Yeah, we're going to be playing Kyle Lowry in just a second. As soon as FanDuel.
Nice figures out on FanDuel, you don't need to get as much caught in the first game. To me, it's mostly Holiday with some. I like Turner as a GPP play, actually, which we don't get on DraftKings because he's too high owned. And then you get James Harden. And now I might just do something really crazy for right now in my big one on DraftKings. I think I might just say F it to everything, play the value I think is going to make the most sense, and I think I might just go with Joel Embiid and play him at center at 10 whatever K. Let's just see what he's going to be owned over there, because he's going to still have ownership.
Embiid?
Yeah, on DraftKings. I'm just guessing it's going to be significantly lower, 34%. Projected at 30 minutes? Are you guys serious? How come his minutes jumped when they announced he was in today? Like, I don't understand that. The projection should be the same. if he's in, he'll play this.
I always asked about that. I think their algorithm just actually gives them like a percentage of chance playing. I don't think they do it by. You know what I mean? I think that. By
the way, there's going to be overlay. If you're not playing on DraftKings or FanDuel, it's going to be overlay. Bol is not likely to get over 20 minutes again, but is absolutely on the table. 100% on the table that Bol will get 20 minutes again. He's a really interesting off-the-board guy who they've been closing with. He's looked great. I could see it happening. I could absolutely see Bol. That's an interesting play, Cairns. Is there better value? For sure. But, can you use him and then maybe wait for better value? Yeah, you could do that. Okay, so actually, instead of Noel, I actually want to save it with Millsap, just so I feel a little bit better. I don't even know if Noel's going to play today.
I know.
This slate is crazy. Well, you can just. I know that he did it last year after they played their luck at their playoff spot. They just took him out. We just had this exact same situation twice with Toronto, though, where they didn't play Siakam down the stretch. But you're right. They could play Lowry. I mean, again, he's probably still going to get enough minutes where he's completely not only viable but like a good play. Is there someone we would rather play at small forward on FanDuel other than It's awful. I think that so one of the things I've noticed lately, Sheets, when you're playing these slates, some of what you're doing is it's more the plays you fade than the plays you make a lot of the time. And like skipping the Dallas value the other day was the one that, got me third place in that tournament because everybody else played some of that early Dallas value. So skipping the guys on FanDuel are going to be owned. The problem is they're just not. What do we have Kawhi Leonard at 61%? So I'll skip Kawhi Leonard on FanDuel.
There's just nobody to play.
There's nobody to play. You might have to play that's why people are going to play Justin Holiday too. And then you've got Tobias Harris, but nobody's really going to play. I mean, nobody plays Jay Crowder. I'll take it. Let's go, Jay Crowder. Come on. 4,700 minutes are pretty secure. You almost always get the same amount. Yeah, 28 minutes in most. Yeah, I'm going with Jay Crowder. If we can get a 2% owned Jay Crowder at 4,700, let's go. 35 fantasy points coming to you. I'm into this now. I'm actually feeling good about my lineup, which I can't believe. And my big play is to hope Jeremy Grant plays later and make sure to get him in my lineups. He is the Denver guy who I have interest in. He's cheap enough, and he does so much while he's on the court. And also, they would let him probably extend more than they would other guys. There's always an outside chance that the Denver Clippers game tonight kills me and they actually play everybody. So I would try and get one lineup in with that if you have the ability to do so right now for anybody out there. Try and get a Clippers stack with Denver if you can.
A Clippers stack with Denver.
In case they actually play the game out, which they might. Okay, so let's see real quick. Great stuff, says Anthony Vespi. Thanks, man. We actually have some people in here. I actually can't look at all the things because I've missed.
I can't really see anything right now because I'm doing something else.
We're getting some people in here. It's we've actually it's starting to grow back again. We'll get 100 people in here in one of these days.
Did you say you're considering Paul Millsap?
Millsap, and then I'll switch on to him over to Jeremy Grant probably if Jeremy Grant plays. It just leaves me some flexibility. What does worry me is this Denver situation, but it worries me so much. But I also think that we probably should take advantage and play these guys. And I'm going to right now get that done on my DraftKings lineup. What if I do that? What if I fade the early value with the exception of one or two guys? It doesn't work out.
Yeah, I think that's the
You guys, there's a lot of overlay right now.
I think that's the
It starts in 10 minutes.
Yeah, because no one can figure out what to.
Exactly. That's what happens on these.
Everybody else is smart. They know they're probably not supposed to play.
But that's
what those are the ones who win.
Exactly. That's right.
Those are the ones.
Hey, this is great. This is first time catching us live. T-Dub says, thanks, man. Really appreciate that. We're going live. If you guys want to get any questions in, we are coming up on lock. And I guess we've sort of become the substitute crunch time right now. So thanks to you guys who are hanging out with us instead of crunch time. That feels really good. All right, so get the questions in. I'm going to finish editing my DraftKings lineup sheets. If you have anything to add, go ahead and pop it on in there.
If you want, I could be like crunch time. I could say, hey, Aaron Holiday's a really good play. I like it a lot.
All right, wait, what if I did this? Hold on.
I'm just basically different.
I can't quite get Embiid, Jokic. I guess I can.
You can't get quite who?
I'm trying to work on one here. I think I might just go for it here on my big one and hope I get some later news.
Because I think FanDuel is.
I think I might fade Aaron Holiday in my big one on DraftKings.
Really?
Because if I get the 4,600 back, if I skip him and somehow McConnell ends up running the point and they use more Sumner or something like that, because he's a part of their playoff rotation too. Oladipo gets. There's a lot of ways it could play out where it doesn't work for him. So I'm getting myself some exposure to this late game right now. I can't. How are neither Kawhi or Paul George eligible to be power forwards? It's so silly.
Oh, yeah. Millsap.
I accidentally put Westbrook in the lineup, so I'm glad I didn't lock that one in.
Yeah, he'll play, I'm sure.
I mean, like, look, the crazy thing I'm thinking about doing is fading Harden. No, I can't do it. It's just so crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even if he even if he busts, he's going to score 50, right? I mean, like. What you could do, I mean, like, I don't know. Should we do one like fade Harden lineup just for?
Yeah, make one up like that for sure.
In the $3,
See, Hamlin, you're bringing up a good point. I have in my big lineup, in all honesty, on DraftKings right now, I have Lou Williams in there. So good call on the more minutes for playoffs. He's the one I would be looking at for the Clips for sure. In fact, but what if? Denver might. They're not going to do it, but I might have to try it anyway. It's just too tempting.
Denver's not going to do what? Play Jokic?
Play Jokic all the minutes, but it's possible they could. They sort of have wavered on this back and forth. And it's been hard to predict. Like they did it to against the Lakers, they pulled everybody. I mean, do we really want to play where they're pulling everybody? Feels bad.
Well, in the $3 where I faded Harden, I played Jokic. So there we go.
I can't quite bring myself to do it. I can't click the button. So the idea was to try and get Jokic and Embiid together on DraftKings.
Oh wow, that would be fun.
With Harden,
you play all the Pacers. No Harden.
Yeah, with you play Harden.
Oh, you can do that too, huh?
Yeah. You play Harden.
So we got 7 minutes. Are you kidding me?
I mean, how do we know that the minutes are going to be for the Philly? Jakar.
Who else?
Dakar Sampson.
Who else except me has PJ Tucker in the center spot on FanDuel? Anybody?
I did that the other day. Just don't happen.
Hey, I'll play 40 minutes and get 15 fantasy points, and they'll be fine. Let's do another one with no Harden, just for kicks. I mean, it's not like you're dead at the shooting position. You got Paul George and Butler.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep that. I feel as though maybe I should have more Turner. No. Maybe not.
I actually kind of like him as a tournament play, but I don't think he's like a must-have or anything.
Oh no, I know it's nothing.
Yeah.
He's not playing. He's not playing. This $3 is going to win all the money. This is the one that has no Harden, and it's got Mason Plumlee as the center. That's the one that's going to win. When Jokic plays no minutes.
Oh shit! I gotta get his lineup in.
So what I gotta do is, who's out there? C. Hanlon. I'm going to let you decide. So I've one lineup that I need to change. It's going to have either no Holiday or no Harden. Which is it going to be? Or maybe just get rid of both of them. There you go. That's what I'm
taking the last minutes. No. By the way, that's a different sport. We'll talk about that after the show. Okay.
That's the one. and leave 700 on the table. Beautiful. That's the one. The no Holiday, no Harden, and leave 700 on the table anyway. Excellent.
All right. That's talking.
Very bad. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, Shanlin. It's got to be very bad. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth doing. Okay. Hot take, Bobby. Who?
Who is it?
Who's Bobby? Bobby Cabin? I don't even know what sport that is.
I don't know what that is.
Is that hockey?
I don't know what he's doing. You can make it work, C. Hamlin. I'm not sure that it's worth it to make it work, and that's what was worrying me a little bit. And it's not like you're getting a discount in ownership on these guys, and that's the part that's really bothering me. Yeah, it's not enough of a discount to try and prioritize a long shot that they do keep these guys in, to me. I might lean more towards Philly because they're going to try and get their rotations down because of their struggles, in my opinion. Bull. All right, one last thing. Wow, projected at 7 minutes. You know who really shocked? It was shocked me that Jerome Robinson is as low owned as he was yesterday, but Bull is going to be completely unowned, and maybe he could get the run again. I don't like this Jakar Sampson thing. It's bothering me. I don't think I need to do it, so I'm just not going to.
Jakar Sampson?
Yeah, I'm just leaving it alone.
You're not to the McDermott, huh?
Power forward is a nightmare on DraftKings. Outside of what's his name? It's all going to go to Covington and maybe some Siakam. What about if we take the shot on Siakam over here and Lowry on the other one? I think that makes a little bit of sense, but then I have to play.
Maybe
that's why you were stuck on Gallinari over here. It's really not a fun one.
I got him in 43%. I got him in like half my lineup.
Who's your power forward mostly on DraftKings?
Power forward on DraftKings?
Yeah.
Who did I put in there? Covington?
Yeah.
McDermott?
I guess I'll throw McDermott into one. I'm not excited about that McDermott one, but I'll do it anyway.
It's nothing to be excited about. I don't like my FanDuel centers. Like none of them have a chance. I mean, I have Tucker, Turner, and Jokic, and Plumlee. Like, probably should get one. No, it's probably a good idea. All right, let's.
Yeah, probably good. I mean, these slates, man, are so weird.
Where we have 4 minutes, or is it 4 o'clock, or is it 0 minutes?
0 minutes, 40 seconds.
40 seconds, and FanDuel is stalling. I'll let FanDuel decide whether I get Embiid. So 30 seconds. Oh, I have 0.00 on my thing. Let's see. Let's see if it lets me. Sometimes they just 37 seconds. Let's see if it's something that slipped me under the wire. Let's see. I don't think
I like my FanDuel lineup a lot better than I like my DraftKings lineup.
I don't think it's going to work. I don't think I have enough room.
Who else we got? So Lou Guys is in the mix. Yeah, for sure. Harden, Jokic, and Embiid. Yeah, it does look ugly, I bet. If Jakar Sampson goes off and wins somebody else all the money today, it's not going to be me. But even if he does, I don't think you're going to be dead because I think there's going to be other stuff to happen. It's just my prediction. Mostly, though, what's going to happen today is these teams, I think, are going to get their rotations down, and they're not going to pull these guys. Yeah, like Jakar Sampson at 20 minutes at projection is just seems like wrong to me. The guy we should have played, and now it's too late. Chance is Edmund Sumner.
So this is the one you guys want to know what's going to win. This is the one that got shut out. I missed this by a half of a second. This is the one that it was going to be the Embiid. This is the one that was going to go in, but I literally got butted by a half a second. I had Eric Gordon as the last 4,100 throwing in the small forward position, and this did not make it. So this is the one that wins. All right, sounds good, guys.
For the people who haven't seen our baseball show, do you want to give them just a real quick take of what you think about baseball?
Yeah, I think it's a dumb freaking sport. Oh, about Yeah. Yeah.
What are you hating on baseball for?
No, not at all. Pitching is pitching is kind of a mess tonight. For those of you that are going to play baseball, your best option is probably going to be, well, best is interesting. You know what I mean? Like from a value perspective, your best option is going to be Zach Eflin. Is that his name? Eflin, who certainly not going to win the Cy Young this year. And then you have these kind of pseudo spend ups like Kenta Maeda and what's his name, and Zach Greinke, who I guess from a raw points perspective rate to be okay, but they're no bargain either. You had a lot more faith in. I shouldn't say that. I was about to say you had a lot more faith in the hitting than I did. I just think that I didn't have a lot of direction with the hitting. I just think you could go so many different places.
That's probably a better way to put it. Yeah, there are a lot of places to go, but I fine tuned it a little bit down to three main stacks and got to do exactly what I wanted to. Kind of. I'm feeling good about baseball. I really am. He's talking about why we're talking about baseball, dude. Baseball makes us money too, and so does Eflin is bad.
Brooklyn, can I tell you? Brooklyn Juice.
Who's your pitcher? Who's your SP2? Who are your SP1 and 2 on DraftKings?
Me?
No, I'm talking to Brooklyn Juice. I want to hear what SP1 is.
I don't know who this is, Brooklyn Juice, but I'm kind of with you, man. I'm kind of with you. The tone is a little weird, but I'm kind of with you on this. This Eflin chalk is a little annoying. You like the Greinke? Greinke's your S2. I don't know who's your SP1 then.
Yeah, Greinke's your SP1. Yeah, forget FanDuel. Nobody's talking about playing. We're not talking about playing Eflin on FanDuel. I haven't even looked at playing him on FanDuel.
Why not? Why are we not talking about playing him?
Because it's so easy to get good hitters in on FanDuel because there's so many underpriced hitters. So you don't need to have like a great pitching take. Last night was a little bit of an exception because you had to pay way up if you wanted some Coors bats and the Philly bats that I wanted, like Bryce Harper. So I had to play Jordan Montgomery in that one, which actually worked out well. I finished 21st. Could have won it.
In order, my top pitchers on FanDuel. These are like the worst pitchers in the world. I mean, I'm just telling you what it is. Eric Lauer, tied with Jordan Lyles.
How is Eric Lauer in your FanDuel play? I'm trying to understand. Somebody's got to explain this to me. I haven't read anything.
What I'm saying is I'm not going to use him because if I don't need him, you know what I mean? Like this, you can get all these pitchers in, all these batters in so freaking cheap. I'm just not going to need him.
But also, I don't understand on a site that values a quality start,
no one's getting a quality start today.
Innings and wins.
Yeah,
he doesn't have any of those things.
Yeah, so we're going to go probably with one of those Texas guys. Probably going to be Walker or Lyles, probably.
All right.
Well, who do you like? You like the Maedas and Greinke's, probably.
I like Maeda. I don't love the umpire for him, but it's all right. I don't like Lauer. I'm not into Lauer either. But I think he's actually got a talent in terms of a strikeout pitcher at times. But I don't understand why we think he's pitching all this that people have brought up so far. I'm still confused by it unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brooklyn, man. I need someone to talk. That's why I need the Brooklyn Juice here to tell me what's what. Tell me that the Lauer's going to get shelled. I'm with you. I agree. I think he's going to get freaking rocked. I'm not playing him. I'm just telling you what I was looking at.
I'll take the low K rate, no walk guys.
Yeah.
With two decent lefties that nobody can hit. I'll take that pitcher against them. But again, at chalk, it does make you. I don't understand why people think Eflin's bad though. Eflin is a really good pitcher, like a really talented pitcher. There is not like if things were normal on this slate and he was healthy coming in, I think we'd see him at 9K today, and he's 6,400. And you're telling me we should be afraid of the Orioles, one of the worst hitting offenses we've seen in years, although they've been hot lately. It's a long season. I'm going to bet on the long run.
JJ, I would be with you if I had just a little more confidence that they would let him if I thought that the Yankees would let Tanaka. I was going to say 6, even that's greedy, but I was going to say if I thought he could throw 6 innings if he was pitching well, I might be with you because I think that he's ready. I think he's ready to put in a good effort, and especially if you don't get what's his name in the lineup again, you don't get Acuna in the lineup again. I think the slate is starved for someone to smash. I don't know who it is. But if someone can just get this done.
Get who?
If someone's done, I think the slate is looking for someone to smash pitching wise, but I don't know who it can be.
Which slate? With baseball or basketball?
Baseball.
Oh, you mean which team?
No, a pitcher.
Oh, a pitcher.
He was saying that Tanaka was going to smash. I'm like, I'd love for him to have the.
Tanaka hasn't thrown more than 59 pitches, and right now we should assume that Tanaka has a lower pitch thing than Blake Snell. That's what we should assume. Tanaka has thrown 51 and 59 pitches. In that 59 pitch outing, he had pitched 5 innings and hadn't given up one hit, and they pulled him. So if you feel comfortable with Tanaka, you're wrong. If you think he's a good GPP play, you're right. But we have to hear more about his pitch count. We cannot assume that he's a good play at this pitch count.
But I don't like him. I don't like him as a GPP player. In other words, I just don't like guys on minute restrictions. I don't like guys counts. You know what I mean? Like I don't like that for upside. You know what I mean? I'd rather take some idiot like Lauer. You know what I mean? Or some idiot like Lyles, and just hope he gets lucky. And because I know he can, at least Lyles maybe throw innings. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess get the hitting right.
I am curious. Do you guys want to talk really, really last thing? But just wanted to really quickly look at the ownership of these guys because we knew they were going to be popular. Chief, what ownership do you have on McDermott? I only got him in one, but I haven't loaded yet.
How much do I have of him?
Did you end up playing him?
Like almost every lineup on DraftKings.
What's his ownership?
Oh, I don't know. Let me pull that up. Okay,
let's take a look.
Let's see what you're asking. That's pretty funny. You're like, I'd love to tell you, Eric, but I just don't have any of them.
Man, this morning I thought was going to be a light and easy morning, and it's just not been at all.
What's that?
I even went out to the doctor and everything. All right, so I did get one guy at low ownership that I was hoping for, which is all I got. Actually, 2 guys. I'm surprised Robert Covington is only 24% owned. Is that surprising?
Is that right? Well, because of the 6,500, I guess, is that price range. But I guess people piled on. Well, I'll put it on a second. Hold on. I'm just doing it on the other screen. Just taking forever to load these lineups. Hold on.
Yeah, we've got a 12% Jeff Green, 44% McConnell, 69% Aaron Holiday, 89% Harden, 54% Oladipo, 24% Covington.
Right, hold on.
I might be able to do some things with my last 2 spots if this game stays close. The other thing you run into, if you could have faded this game, like mostly, you would have probably needed to play McConnell. You can't really fade everything. But you probably need to play McConnell in that situation or Sumner or something. But like that would have been just the balls out play to make, you know? Hope that it's a blowout and that it's all sort of spread out, one of those kind of, games. I don't know. That would have been fun.
Hang on. We're trying to we're fighting the good fight with the stream here. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Yeah, McDermott is a crisp 18%.
Oh. Hey, that's actually that's pretty damn good ownership on this field.
Not the worst.
I thought he was going to be like 25 or 35 or somewhere in that range, and I thought that was why partly I didn't want to play him. Had I known that, I would have thrown him in more. I threw him in 1. Let's see what he is in the higher buy-ins, but I did throw him into 1 pretty high buy-in tournament.
Let me find Sampson and Turner. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have to let me know about Sampson. I have no idea.
I'm going to look him up.
JJ says he has information that the handcuffs are off Tanaka tonight. So why would they raise him from 50? So what does that mean, handcuffs off? That probably means 75 pitches. Because he doesn't throw that many pitches anyway. He's incredibly efficient. I don't know where you have that inside information. If that's really good information, I hope that's true. Sampson should be low owned because Sampson is a terrible play, but that's just my personal take.
Well, I will tell you something. I don't know. I don't know much, and I'm rooting for Tanaka to have a longer leash, and I really hope that Tanaka does have a long leash. I promise you that Brooklyn Juice does not have inside information on it.
No, Brooklyn Juice didn't say he has. Triple J does as he does. I don't know.
Oh, that's what I meant. I'm sure that no one in this chat has extra information. Well, I do know that Sterling Marte hit a home run. That I know.
Oh, you got your Arizona guy going in the early game. Yeah, McDermott is 24%. So Sheets, this lends itself to your play a little bit. 24% in the $200 buy-in for McDermott.
No,
always nice to see your guys higher owned in the higher buy-ins, right?
Yeah, unless you're in them, right?
No, you want, yeah. I mean, but overall, you want to. It always feels a little bit better when it makes a little more sense to the guys who probably.
No, absolutely. Hold on, I just want to find. On the other hand, let me see. Jakar Sampson. I still can't even because my screen is so slow right now because the stream is just kind of like
the share does that sometimes.
That's all right. That's all right. It's gonna surprise us here to see the Jakar Sampson in the 555 is 9% owned. No, I'm just kidding.
Get out of here.
Sampson is a very crisp 24% owned in the big one. You know, in 10 or whatever that is.
Yeah, I bet you that number lowers as you go up in buy-ins, and that actually surprises me. I understand a 3K guy starting, but we've seen this story. I mean, I don't think I can remember him ever paying off his price when he was played. I've seen him do it off the bench a couple times. It's weird. He doesn't do anything, so I don't know how he's going to get there, but he could, just by being on the court sometime.
All right, guys, I got to go.
Let's get out of here. Yeah, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Sorry, Sheets, you sign off. Good luck tonight, everybody.
All right. Wait, hold on.